Everyone, I'm John Miller with Mike Krukow. Welcome to San Francisco Giants baseball. And suddenly, baseball is fun again. The Giants pitching has been excellent here, and the offense has gotten going. They scored 10 runs last night, Buster Posey knocking in 5 of them. And now Tim Lincecum gets the start here in Game 3.
Well, historically, he's done extremely well against these Padres, 11-6 lifetime with an ERA in the low 2s. But the key with Lincecum is going to be able to maintain that consistency throughout the game. The last 3 starts, we've seen him start and have 5 great innings of stuff. All 3 specialty pitches firing off at the same time, the slider, the curveball, the split. The problem has been the 6th inning. Hasn't been able to maintain it through the 3rd time through the lineup. So that will be a key for him tonight.
All right, so Lincecum gets the call up against Edinson Volquez of the Padres. Last night, the Giants ended up having to go to that bullpen rather early. 4 strong out of the bullpen last night.
Well, the bullpen got a whole lot healthier today with the addition of Santiago Casilla coming off the disabled list. This is something the Giants have been waiting for a while, and he is a great 1-2 punch right-handed wise for the Giants with him and Sergio Romo. So that's going to make everybody feel a little bit better, a little bit stronger, and so hopefully it has a good outcome on the game tonight.
So the Giants, the Padres, it's Game 3 of the series, and we'll be back. We'll have more from Petco Park after this. Order for tonight's game. It'll be Blanco leading off in center field, and he's just been on base over and over and over again in the first 2 games of this series. Marco Scutaro headed to the All-Star game. He's at second base. Buster Posey also headed to the All-Star game, and he's hot once again. 5 RBIs last night, hitting .455 in the last 5 games. Pablo Sandoval and his bat has started to speak. Third base. Hunter Pence in right field. Brandon Belt first base, hitting 6th. Kensuke Tanaka, who not only is hitting .400, but he's got a .471 on base average. He's stealing bases, making good defensive plays. Tanaka is doing it all right now as the Giants batting order presented by Audi Truth in Engineering. Crawford, the shortstop, he's started to get hot, and Lincecum, the pitcher, batting 9th against the Padres right-hander Edinson Volquez.
Volquez, 29 years old, in his 6th year at the big league level. And this is what he has done in 19 starts, 6-7 with a 5.33 ERA. Surprising numbers when you consider the type of stuff that he can feature. He'll go low to mid-90s with the fastball, and it's got lots of movement. He can vary his arm angle. He's kind of a low 3/4 release. He's got a big turn. He's very deceptive. You don't pick him up easy in his delivery to home. Got a little funkiness to it. And along with that good fastball, you'll see a curveball and a changeup. Those are his 2 specialty pitches. You'll see more changeups to lefties, more curveballs to righties. Let's take a look at who's playing behind Edinson Volquez tonight. Starting in the Padres outfield from left to right will be Quinton, Amarista, and Venable, the best arm in right field with Venable. Cabrera and Headley will be on the left side of the infield. Jerko and Alonso on the right side. And Rene Rivera will be in the squad, putting down the signs. Edinson Volquez, lifetime against the Giants, 2-1 with a 5.05 ERA. But he can be as nasty as anybody on this Padres staff. It's a matter of him finding that rhythm. That's why it's important for the Giants to do something that first time through the lineup. There is a little bit of vulnerability to Volquez until he finds his rhythm. Once he finds his rhythm, it becomes a different at bat.
Well, you see his career numbers in the 2 starts this year, a 4.09 ERA against the Giants. The Dodgers have already played their game on the out-of-town scoreboard. They won up the road in L.A. 1-0. It was a twilight start, Mike, with the long late afternoon shadows, and Zach Greinke up against Tyler Chatwood, and apparently both pitchers benefited from the conditions. The viewing for a hitter was not the best.
Well, complete games from both pitchers, which is a rarity in today's game, and a 1-0 final, and the Dodgers walk out winners.
Greinke pitched a 2-hitter. Chatwood allowed 4 hits, and Yasiel Puig did not play. That hip is giving him some trouble. The Diamondbacks are just underway at home against the Milwaukee Brewers. We'll keep an eye on that ball game as well. But here the Giants and the Padres better to play ball. Blanco, it's a called strike. Blanco had a single and 2 walks last night, and he had 3 hits Thursday night. So he's reached base with a hit or a walk 6 times the first 2 games of the series. Now with a .342 on base average for the year. And up and away. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Umpire tonight, Mark Wagner, he's got a pretty tight strike zone. And you're going to see more high strikes with Wagner than you will with anybody else in this crew. And I really do think he does have a preference to the higher strike than to the lower one. Not big corners with Wagner.
Las Diaz at first, Tim Timmons at second, crew chief Mike Winters umpiring at third. Foul off the left field line, back into the crowd. A ball and 2 strikes. There's Bruce Bochy getting ready after tomorrow's game to head back to New York to be the National League All-Star Team manager. I talked to Boch about some of the decisions still to be made before that. He does say that one way or the other, you can count on Sergio Romo being a member of the National League All-Star Team. That's the high strike. Got him looking. 1 away. There's Romo talking to Mijares out in the bullpen.
You'll see a little second stage hop too with the movement from Volquez fastball. But an example of the bell high strike. You're going to see a lot of them tonight with Wagner.
Now Marco Scutaro, National League All-Star, hitting .318. .371 on base average for Marco. 1 out, nobody on. Scutaro trying to get the Giants going. The Giants have a few guys who have not done well against Volquez in the past. Scutaro only 2 for 12 lifetime against him. Now it's 2-0. Volquez back to the rosin bag. 2-0 the count. Volquez in 104 2/3 innings, 50 walks. It is hard to imagine how his ERA is over 5, especially pitching so often in this ballpark.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, that does add to the puzzle. You look at Volquez, and I don't think the guy can throw the ball straight. As we talked about, the fastball that can go low to mid-90s with a second stage movement that kind of jumps at you at the plate. It's not an easy guy to square up.
2-1 the count. Off the outside. So he's been an enigma, especially this year, because he's got great stuff, but the numbers are bad. But really throughout his career, I think even when he's been at his best, a lot of people always felt like he should have been better.
If you wait him out, he will give you some pretty good location pitches to hit.
Well, maybe that one looked like it was right down the middle. 3-2. Sometimes it seems like Marco, he prefers it to be 2 strikes. Then he gets serious about it.
I think he's one of the best 2-strike hitters in the game, and I think that's always been one of his strengths. Just does not panic, totally relaxed. Swing never changes.
Headley near the foul line, third base side. And back out of play.
But, you know, with the importance of the pitch count in today's game, the pitch count determines how long a guy pitches in a ball game. It would be in the best interest of a lineup to do what Scutaro does. Take pitches. Get 3 or 4 or 5 pitches out of him at bat. You do that, you're talking about 45, 50 pitches one time through the lineup. The guy's not going to see the 6th inning.
3-2 pitch. Cabrera on number 2. Here comes Buster Posey. 5 RBIs last night. A sacrifice fly for the Giants' first run in the 3rd. And then a double in the right center. The 2nd run in the 5th. And this double down the left field line. 2 more runs. And 5 RBIs total for Buster. His second hit, by the way, was a 2-run single, not a double. Then the double in the 7th inning. The last time a Giants catcher had 5 RBIs in the game, I was a little bit surprised because I would have figured Buster. It's not his first 5 RBI game, but it was Pablo Sandoval. So Buster apparently had big RBI numbers when he played first base a couple of times for the Giants. Changeup missing, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, the kind of groove that Buster Posey's in right now is one we've seen him lock into. And when he gets a groove going, he can sustain it for a long time. And right now, you do not want to make mistakes to him up because he will not let them go by. He will jump on him. He'll use the whole field.
Cabrera. And he got it. The tough hop. He was hoping to turn it into a short hop. Not quite, and Buster is safe at first.
It'll be interesting to see how they rule this. It's a do-or-die play. A ball hits off of a plate. You get a high bounce, and this thing really comes up. And that means it's going to be a very difficult play to judge if you're going to get caught on a short hop like Cabrera does. And I think they ruled it correctly. It's been ruled a hit. Posey's speed down the line, average at best, and even at that, I think he'd have beaten that out.
So here is Pablo Sandoval. Pablo had a single and a double last night. His double, a screamer off the right field wall in the corner near the foul pole. Into the gap, right center field, out to the deepest part of the yard. Buster digging for third. Venable, the relay. Buster heading home, and he'll score without a throw. A double for Pablo Sandoval, and the Giants have a 1-0 lead.
He's starting to heat up. With Sandoval, who's had some feet problems, he hasn't always been able to plant his foot without having some pain in it. Because of that, he's hit around it. It's affected his hip speed. And now he's starting to feel better. The foot no longer a problem. And with 2 outs, Posey getting a good jump. And look at him go. An easy score and a slide just to stay in shape.
So Pablo, and he's hit a few balls like that in this series. That homer was out a little bit to the right of that spot on Thursday night, and then a double that hit the right field wall in the corner near the foul pole, and now a gapper for an RBI. All three just laser beams. Now Hunter Pence, and that breaking ball was a knee buckler in for a strike. It's 0-1, and Pence probably has struggled more badly against Volquez than any other Giant. He's had 4 hits in 28 lifetime at bats against him. Pence hitting .262 with 13 homers. And the curve stayed a little bit inside. 1 ball and 1 strike.
He has been stone cold, especially with runners in scoring position. The last 24 at bats he's had with a runner in scoring position, he is 1 for 24. And he really is a key for the Giants the second half of the season. They have to get his bat going, plain and simple.
On the right field line and foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Now Pence was on a good RBI pace. Looked like he was well on his way to 9,500 RBIs, and then he went cold, as did several Giants all at the same time. Pablo, one of those, coming back from the disabled list, cold, but he has started to heat up now. Now they need, as you say, Pence to do the same. That one got away from Volquez, the breaking ball. High and tight, 2-2. And it goes back to the rosin bag again. Rosin, more rosin.
It's kind of like more cowbell. You just can't have enough.
This will be his 20th pitch of the first inning. He got the first 2 hitters, but then Posey got the infield hit. Bouncing one down off home plate, and Pablo backed it up with a shot into the gap in right center to knock Posey in. 2-2 now to Hunter Pence. Now the catcher Rivera will go to the mound to chat directly to Volquez. Rivera making his first start in the big leagues this year. He was having a very strong year in the Pacific Coast League, and in fact his call up will prevent him from playing in the Coast League All-Star game. Rivera, who has other big league experience with the Twins and the Mariners. 2-2 the count. Struck him out. And so it goes for Hunter Pence right now. 1-0 Giants as Lincecum will go to the mound. Our game, shortstop Alexi Amarista, center field. Chase Headley, great year last year, and he's been a puzzle this year. Third base. Carlos Quentin, the former Stanford star, has done well against Lincecum the few times he's seen him, and he's the big home run threat for this team. Yonder Alonso, first base. Jed Jerko, the rookie second baseman. Will Venable in right field hitting seventh. Rene Rivera, the catcher, and Edinson Volquez, the pitcher, bats ninth against Tim Lincecum.
Take a look at the numbers for Tim Lincecum on the year. 18 starts, 4-9 with a 4.61 ERA, and he really is looking for a win. Has not had a win since his start against Toronto, and that was on June 4th. 112 strikeouts, 107 and a third. That's excellent. It's a good ratio, over a 2-to-1 strikeout walk ratio. And for Lincecum, you're going to get a fastball, curveball, slider, and a split. But the fastball command and his ability to control the strike zone has always been a key.
He's had a couple of strong games against the Padres this year. The bluff of the bunt and a fastball for a strike. He's had 2 starts against them with a 1.32 earned run average. Cabrera, 292 average, and getting on base is his game, and he's got a 368 on base average. Switch hitter batting left-handed. Out of play off the left field side.
You know, the Padres have always been the get-well team for Lincecum. I mean, lifetime 11-6 with a very stingy 2.34 ERA. And if you have an ERA that's 2.34 in 157 innings, I mean, you pretty much have some severe ownage on a club.
Well, he's allowed only 2 runs total in his 2 previous starts against them this year. 2-2, the fastball up and away. But in one of those starts, he gave up both of those runs in 7 innings, and that was a loss. In this ballpark back on April 26th, he lost 2-1. He beat the Padres in San Francisco 2-0. The curveball and a foul. 2-2. So Cabrera trying to make something happen. Tomorrow the Giants All-Star party will go by a chartered aircraft to New York. Madison Bumgarner will be on one of those planes. There'll be 2 airstreams that will take them from San Diego to New York. Bruce Bochy and his entire coaching staff will be going. Curveball, and he lost the bat. He made contact with that ball, and it looked like he might have hurt himself the way he dropped that bat, and he did not look good.
Let's see how it left his hand. It is a weird feeling when you swing and you lose the bat. It's unnatural. It's not supposed to be that way. And with all the stickum and the gloves, it's almost, you would think it would be impossible. But if you could feel how lightly a grip a hitter puts on a bat, you would understand how that could happen. They barely lay it in their hands. The lightest of grips. The lighter the grip, the heavier the bat head.
Let's go 2-2. He's making Lincecum work here. That's the first batter in the game.
It's one of the big mistakes that amateur hitters make. When they grab the bat, they grab the bat so tightly. And when you do that, you make the bat head light, and you make your hands, you limit their amount of flexibility.
That came up, hit him in the leg. Foul ball.
Let's look at the defense for the Giants against the Pods tonight. Starting in the outfield, left to right, it'll be Tanaka, Blanco, and Pence. That's your outfield. Crawford and Sandoval on the left side. Scudero and Bell will patrol the right side. Buster Posey will be in the squad, putting down the signs.
Cabrera, the first hitter of the night, still up there. This is the 9th pitch to him. Belt, Lincecum covering. Throw a little bit behind Timmy, but he gathers it in, no problem. 1 away. So he finally got him, but he had to earn that out. Now Alexi Amarista will come up. Lincecum recently has pitched very well, and the Giants have just not been scoring runs with him out there. There's a ball in the dirt, 1 ball and no strikes.
Well, he really has, and I think what has really been the dominance of his pitching has been the ability to command all three of his specialty pitches off the fastball. Change-up, which he throws a split finger grip on, the curveball, and the slider. He's all had really a pretty good feel for all those pitches.
Well, he has not had a win to his own record since June the 4th when he beat the Toronto Blue Jays. 2-1 the count. He's made 6 starts since then, and the Giants lost them all. But they just don't score. That is a called strike. 2-2.
Not a big strike zone with Amarista. He's not a tall guy. He's about 5'7".
Full count now. Amarista built a lot like the previous hitter, Everett Cabrera. Unlike Cabrera, he's a left-handed hitter all the way. Does not switch hit. In right field, Hunter Pence. This one comes right to him. 2 down in the Padres' first inning. And now Chase Headley will come up. Headley, he's the real enigma for the Padres this year, because last year was a breakthrough season for him. Hit 31 homers. He led the league with 115 runs batted in. He was a Gold Glove caliber third baseman. He did it all. And this year he just can't make it happen. Headley hitting only .232, 7 homers, 31 batted in. He kept waiting for that inevitable explosion. It just still has not happened more than halfway through the season. Fastball up and away. 1-0. The Giants leading. 2 down. Nobody on. Off the outside. 2-1. Headley. There was a lot of conjecture from the beginning of the season that maybe he would be traded this year. That's up and away. Fastball missing. It's 3-1 before he would walk away as a free agent at the end of the year. Then the Padres came out and announced that they were going to go all out to sign him right now. And then Headley announced that he didn't want to negotiate during the season. And that's a walk. Carlos Quentin heading for the plate.
All right, time now for Toyota by the numbers. Right now, get 0% on 13 Toyotas. True story. It's a great time to visit your Toyota dealer. First pitch swing percentage, highest in the National League this season. Well, Carlos Gomez swings at 52%, 0.7 of what he sees. Pablo Sandoval, Delman Young, Freddie Freeman, and Carlos Quentin. They round out the top 5. Very aggressive hitters. Love the first pitch, and that's our Toyota by the numbers.
All right, so if you're a pitcher and you see that number, what would be your strategy against a guy like Quentin, at least to start him out, because you want a first pitch strike?
Well, you like first pitch swingers, but what you do is throw to a location that is your location. You don't challenge over the middle of the plate. You throw a pitch like you would throw if you had a 1-2 count. Throw it close. They'll go after it.
The curveball in there for a strike. So Quentin, although Quentin is still up there, I guess, like a lot of hitters, he's looking for a certain pitch.
I think he looks hard stuff till he gets to 2 strikes. I think he looks middle in, very quick to that side of the plate.
Diving safely back. Headley at first.
We've seen Quentin in the series that the Giants have had with the Padres where they've thrown really good fastballs off the plate in on the hands, and he pulls them. And the only way you do that at the big league level when a guy's got 94 miles per hour behind it is cheat. You got to open up. You got to anticipate.
And that curve is bounced foul, so the count is 0-2. Still to Carlos Quentin.
And those are things you take notice. What a guy does with locations that are not in the middle of the strike zone. If he's hitting balls that are off the plate inside, he's looking there. And they'll tell you, if you study it, enough film, they'll tell you which side of the plate they'll look at it when they're ahead in the count, when they have count leverage, 1-0, 2-0, 3-1. And I think Quentin likes that ball middle in.
Lincecum with an 0-2 count. And they pitch out, but Headley not running. Now Headley can steal a base. He has 6 steals so far this year. And it's a a situation where if he could steal, then he's in scoring position. All it would take would be a single to get him home. He stole 17 last year. Shallow left. Tanaka. One man left for the Padres. 1-0 Giants. Brandon Belt and then Tanaka to follow coming up.
Doubleheader. A 2 for the price of 1 with the first game starting at 4:05. The Giants will be the road team in game 1 and will wear their road grays.
That's a new one. Ball 1 to Belt.
And if you have a ticket to the game Tuesday night, come out early as you're getting 2 games for the price of 1. There are still great seats available for Tuesday's doubleheader as well as other 2 Reds games. Go to sfgiants.com and get your seats.
So that's the week after, 1 week to the day after the All-Star game. Doubleheader, an old-timey doubleheader, not a day-night doubleheader. But they used to call them a twinighter. First game 4:05. The second game they're hoping will start right around 7:15. That's the scheduled time for the game on the schedule that night. 3-0 now to Brandon Belt facing Edinson Volquez. The Giants are leading 1-0 as we start the second inning. Belt 258 average, 9 homers, 35 driven in, 335 on base average. And at 93 miles an hour, that fastball is a strike. 3-1.
Well, I'm glad they resolved the problem of making up that game in a doubleheader in San Francisco. It just makes too much sense. It really would have been hard to find another date, and you don't want to do it at the end of the year.
I never understood all the talk about the end of the year, because as long as we've been around the game, you only talk about the end of the year when the 2 teams don't play each other at all after that, after the rain out. They had a whole series coming up in San Francisco. If there's not a mutual day agreeable to both teams, then you play it in the series at the other team's ballpark. It's always been that way. 3-2 the count. Backhanded. Jerko's throw. He got it. Nice play. Here's Tanaka. Last night he ended up in a rundown. Took off, tried to get back. And then they had both runners in a rundown. And watch where Tanaka goes onto the infield grass as Headley chases him, flips the ball away, and then runs right into him. And Tanaka awarded third base.
It really is a veteran play. When you know a guy's behind you and he's close, once he releases that ball, you see it go over your head, you back up. And Bud Black came out there and contended that he was way into the infield grass. But I think the umpires called it correctly. I don't think that Bud Black's argument held weight. But a call you don't see very often, but just a great heads-up base running play by Tanaka, who does a lot of little things like that. Smart player.
Well, it's 0-2 to Tanaka. 6 hits, 15 at bats. He's also had a couple of walks. Been on base 8 times in 17 plate appearances. Curveball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The baseline, by the way, is not just a straight line between the 2 bases. The runner can establish his own baseline. He cannot run out of whatever baseline he establishes just to avoid a tag. But he established early on that he was running on the infield grass. So be it. Oop, that changeup struck him out. And that's the second time that somebody has struck out Tanaka. So 2 down, and here is Brandon Crawford. I saw there are a lot of reporters from Japan, broadcasters, writers, following Tanaka. And the one guy, and we used to see him at AT&T Park when the Giants had Shinjo years ago, Hideki Otsuda. And he was covering Tanaka when he was at Fresno. And he says he's not just an excellent ball player, a former all-star from Japan, but a great guy and a lot of fun. So he said that people in Japan are very excited to see Tanaka with the Giants, and they're all rooting for him. And I think he's made a lot of fans in San Francisco already.
Oh, he really has. I mean, he made another smart play in last night's ball game. Chase Headley, the third baseman, played back, did not respect the bunt. Next pitch, bunt. Perfect bunt, base hit for Tanaka. It's just a guy who has a good awareness of what's going out there. He reads the field right. He reads his opponent right. He understands situations.
That's called a strike. 2-1 now to Brandon Crawford.
He understood there was a situation last night in the rundown where there was an opportunity. He was just waiting for that throw to come over his head from Headley. Then it was time to set anchor and back up, and he gets the interference call. That's just great base running.
And it's 2-2. Well, just about a month ago, June 13th, when the Giants were in Pittsburgh, it was Brandon Crawford who got into a rundown, and he got the obstruction call. He was between third and home when they were running him down, and he was sent home. He got a run out of it. Back over the inside corner, strike 3 called. Nice pitch by Volquez. Lincecum will head back, leading 1-0. In fact, I remember I found that out because years ago I asked Marco, I said, why is your name Scutaro? Because the more common Spanish pronunciation would be Scutaro. And he said, well, my father was Italian, and that's the Italian pronunciation. And I said, so do you, in addition to speaking Spanish, you also speak Italian? And he says, Ben. And he says, that's about all the Italian I speak.
Well, that's not bad.
But every once in a while I'll see him and he'll ask how I'm doing in Italian. Gianni, come stai? There's some similarities between the two languages. Scutaro, an Italian Venezuelan. Deep center, but it will stay in the yard. Blanco and Alonso is gone. Alonso's been gone from the Padre lineup for a long time. He just got back from the disabled list last night. They really missed him. They got him from the Cincinnati Reds along with Grandal, the young catcher, in the trade that sent Matt Latos to Cincinnati. Grandal's out for the rest of the year. He started the year serving a 50-game suspension in violation of the performance-enhancing substance agreement, and then he got hurt the other night on a play at the plate. Out for the year. Jed Jerko also just back last night. The rookie second baseman. Did it look to you like his timing was a little off? The thinking was that he was going to be a day or two behind Alonso before they brought him back. Then they just went ahead and brought him back the same day.
Well, I don't think he has a strike zone yet. He swung out of the strike zone a lot last night. And I think that's the one thing that you really have to have a guy get at least 50 at bats to have an established strike zone. So basically, I mean, it's how you take advantage of a guy. But he's got a quick swing, and he's a good high ball hitter. I mean, I've liked this guy's swing ever since he first came up. It's a quick bat, especially upstairs. But until he learns that strike zone, you can get him out of it.
Last night, 2 or 3 times he swung at pitches that were up around eye high. That hit him.
Nothing ticks off a pitcher more than hitting a guy 0-2 or 1-2.
Trying to put him away, and instead he puts him on.
Like he hit him with a slider too. And that even frustrates you more, because if you're going to hit a guy, you want to at least put a bruise on him with a fastball.
A slider can hurt though, couldn't it?
Yeah, but not as long as a fastball.
So 83 doesn't hurt as much as 93.
No, 83 stings a little bit. 93, that'll hang with you a few days.
Jerko has 1 steal. 1 out, 1 on. The Giants leading 1-0. Here is Will Venable, second leading home run hitter for the Padres this year. That's a foul. 0-1 the count. Day game tomorrow. And Barry Zito will start for the Giants against left-hander Eric Stoltz. A couple of veteran lefties will go at it. That'll be back on Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area. On TV, KMBR, the Giants radio network. 12:30 Giants pregame live on Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area tomorrow. Oh, Lincecum fooled him with that. That was a slow one, a 75-mile-an-hour breaking ball, and it's 0-2.
Big curveball down the dirt. Venable not happy with that swing. Had to take a little walk, have a little word with himself.
Lincecum rubbing up the new ball as Venable poised at the plate. Now Lincecum ready to go. Posey drops the sign. One out runner at first. Struck him out with the splitter. Out number 2.
Yeah, that's a frustrating at bat for Will Venable. But a beautifully thrown split finger. And this is what we've seen the last 3 or 4 starts. He's really had a nice consistency with all of his specialty pitches. And when he's throwing them right, at times it's almost impossible to tell one from another because they have the same type of movement. Straight down.
Rene Rivera. Out of play. We mentioned Rivera has had previous major league experience. He is almost 30 years old. He's from Puerto Rico. Got into the big leagues back in 2004 with the Seattle Mariners, and just parts of 3 different seasons with the Mariners. 2 years ago, got into 45 games with the Minnesota Twins. Jerko back to the bag at first. So Rene Rivera, long time. His career, he's a little bit younger, but his career kind of mirrors that of the Giants backup catcher, Guillermo Quiros, who's also been with a few different major league teams over the years and a long time in the minor leagues. And he swung at it. That's the ruling from Mark Wegner. That ball, a breaking ball in the dirt way off the outside. It's 0-2.
All right, did he go? Yeah, very close. Kind of a gift right there. Thank you, very nice. Well, if you're a catcher and if you can throw and if you can receive and you're a good target, call a good game, even if you don't hit a lick, you can hang in this game for a long time.
0-2. And the fastball puts him away. 1-0 Giants. Lincecum coming up. Then the top of the order as we go to the 3rd. Pablo's had some good moments, good days and nights in this ballpark. 2009, that was his first full season in the big leagues. And it was a great season too. Tim Lincecum, and that's a foul. That's that's for Lincecum, that's a home run. Gone.
Way back.
Upper deck.
I still can't figure it out. As good an athlete as he is, he should be able to be a better hitter.
The curveball outside from Volquez. 1 ball, 2 strike. The Giants ahead 1-0 as we start the 3rd. Lincecum, you talk about his hitting. 2 hits in 32 at bats, although one of them a double. No, I shorted him. One of them a triple. Two and two.
You watch him take batting practice every day. He puts the ball in play, barrels it up, hits solid contact just about every time he gets in a ball game, and it just all disappears.
Two and two. Volquez will try it again. That is hugging the line and just foul. Just before it got to the bag, it went foul.
You watch this guy athletically. He could do so many things. I mean, he literally could run down to first base on his hands. I think if he was not a professional baseball player, he'd be a professional snowboarder or a skier, being from the Seattle area. I mean, there's just not a whole lot that he can't do. Great athlete.
Well, he's gotten the count full now. 3-2. It was 0-2. So that's already a victory, right, for a pitcher to get the other pitcher to throw that many pitches.
You get 5 pitches out of an opposing pitcher. That's a good at bat. That's if you strike out. Just getting pitches. I mean, it's for a guy who's not a very good hitter. He's not a very good hitter.
This is the 7th pitch. And the easy hop to Jerko. Lincecum just kind of jogging up the first base line is retired. One away.
Giants baseball is brought in part by the all-new redesigned Toyota RAV4. It's here, and with up to 31 miles per gallon, it's ready for adventure.
Adventure? I'm ready. I'm ready for adventure.
Well, you're about to take an adventure tomorrow, aren't you?
I'm ready. It's the All-Star break. I didn't make the team this year.
Well, I thought you should have.
So I made plans with my wife to go somewhere else, but and Bochy said, well, you ought to just get on the plane with us tomorrow. We got room for you. Got 2 of them. I said, well, you know, my wife and I are going to the islands. He says, well, we're going to Manhattan Island. Come on. Well, I'm looking forward to it. The Giants will have 4 players in the All-Star game. Romo's going to be at it. There's a called strike to Gregor Blanco, who was called out on strikes his first time up. 1-0. The Giants are leading here in the 3rd inning. But the Giants will go after the game tomorrow. Boch said they likely will get to New York about 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, somewhere in there. The swinging bunt, but right back to Volquez. I like the bunt he laid down last night, a drag bunt up the first baseline that he beat out. You just worry that now when he does try that swing and bunt and he doesn't work, that he may just shelve it now for a while.
Well, I like the idea. I think it would have been better suited towards the third base side simply because Volquez falls off towards the first base side. He's going to have momentum and it will increase his range to be able to field something to the first base side. And if it doesn't get past the pitcher, you got no chance. It's got to get past the pitcher.
Here is Scudero. And the curve is low for ball 1. Apparently, the Padres All-Star, Everett Cabrera, is going to accompany the Giants party on one of those charters tomorrow, all coming from the same area. Every team must have a representative in the All-Star game. And Cabrera was the one chosen from the Padres. Bruce Bochy might ask, well, how is he going to get Romo on the All-Star team? There are going to be some pitchers who will not be on the team. And for instance, Bochy says he's already been told that Adam Wainwright's going to pitch tomorrow for the Cardinals. And Wainwright has already told baseball that he does not want to pitch in the All-Star game as a result of that. He feels that he just would be better served the Cardinals if he just took the time off. He'll go to the All-Star game, but he won't pitch. That's it for Scudero. The Giants go down in order. 7 in a row retired by Volquez. Lincecum back to work, leading 1-0.
Want to go on a whirlwind tour of New Zealand and just include the hashtag #AirNZ
Wait a minute. As Volquez takes a strike from Lincecum, you fly to New Zealand this coming Friday, and you fly back in time for the game on Monday?
That is correct.
Do they think that New Zealand is just a little bit south of San Diego?
Well, that's the deal. You better like planes. Again, tweet using hashtag #AirNZGiants. You want more information, go to sfgiants.com.
I need to get some info about what, where I'm going to be sitting in that plane and what all things are going to be available to me.
But you don't need a hotel, because you fly there, you get off, you go to the bathroom, and then you get back on and come home.
Well, I mean, New Zealand, that's on the other side of the international date line and way south of the equator. It's on the same planet, I'll give it that. I would like to know how many hours you might get, what, 24 hours, literally?
Yeah, literally 24 to 28 in the plane.
But what about in New Zealand? Maybe 24 hours there?
Maybe. Like I said, you wouldn't need a hotel. Because I have 24 hours in the country, I'm not going to bed.
Should I go to the hotel now? No, I only have the 24 hours to see everything that I want to see.
It's truly a whirlwind tour.
I want to go to Milford Sound. I want to see the. That's a great sight down there. The fjord. I want to go to Auckland. I want to go to Wellington. 1 ball and 1 strike. What would be cool is you get back in time for the game on Monday against Cincinnati, and then just stay for the doubleheader on Tuesday.
That's a whirlwind tour. I think we should throw in seats for the doubleheader. What do you think?
Yeah, you think it's just too bad the doubleheader isn't on Monday, and then get back in time for the 2 games on the same day. You'll be the perfect candidate for that one.
That's a lot of time in chairs, plane ride seats.
Struck him out. He tried to check his swing, couldn't do it. And Tim Lincecum has struck out the last 4 hitters in succession. 2 down here in the Padre third.
Well, if I had a chance to go to New Zealand, I would go.
I would go. I hear it's beautiful down there.
Absolutely.
Here is Amarista. Swing and a miss, and it's 0-1.
It's where they filmed Lord of the Rings.
But, you know, I just read something. The Lord of the Rings, what was it, the trilogy?
Yeah.
Not a true story.
Really?
The whole thing was made up.
Where'd they film it?
In New Zealand. That part is true.
That's all I care about.
0-2 the count.
Oh, no, the trilogy actually happened.
That's what I thought. Left field line and into the crowd. 0-2 the count. Wow.
Don't you know where Middle Earth is?
New Zealand?
No, it's between Lodi and Modesto.
Look at this.
Oh, that's a Giants fan. You got to make a play.
Oh! That's the way to do it. Be the guy who catches the carom, not the guy with the broken hand. 5 consecutive strikeouts for Tim Lincecum. The side down on strikes here in the third. Now, Buster Posey, that man. And there are, again, as there have been all through the weekend, a lot of Giants fans in attendance here tonight.
Oh, and they've been having a party this whole weekend.
And the breaking ball in for a strike from Volquez.
I had a chance to see a lot of Giants fans walking around the Gaslamp District. Today at Pacific Beach, I was there with my wife, taking a walk. Saw a lot of Giants fans out there.
And that one spins in there. Strike 2. Buster got an infield hit his first time. And after driving in 5 runs last night here, he scored the Giants' first run on Pablo's double back in the first inning. But he's behind in the count, 0-2. In the dirt with that changeup.
I think it's really one of the very cool cities to go to if you're a Giants fan because of the proximity of the hotels to the ballpark. You don't need to rent a car here. You get a hotel. You can walk to the yard, walk around town. It's just a great, great place.
Weather is pretty nice. Just a bit high. 2-2. Now, he threw that one 94 miles an hour. You think it looked like he might have been trying to throw it 104 miles an hour.
Well, he'll do that. He'll cruise at 92 and he'll hump up to a 94, 95 fastball in a 2-strike situation. He's always been a guy that has been able to reach back and get a little extra in 2-strike scenarios.
2-2 to Buster Posey. And he somehow got a piece of that one. 2-2. By the way, we want to say happy birthday to my niece, Sarah Jones. And don't tell her that I told you. 30 today.
Wow. Milestone.
Milestone birthday for Sarah. Huge Giants fan. Deep into left field. It is one hop and off the Western Metal Supply Company building. A double, an automatic double for Buster Posey.
Now, if they'd have played Quinton a straightaway set in left field, they'd have been able to catch that ball. But what they do when they defend against Posey is they cheat towards the gap. He's such a gap-to-gap guy, does not pull a lot, that they expose that line, and he simply hits away from the defense. Like a little changeup. It's a little bit out front of him. But I mean, he looks hard stuff away, and the pitcher speeds his bat up, and you can see how far over towards the left center field gap Quinton was. The ball that he's going to pull is going to be that changeup down and in. He thinks opposite field gap, thinks fastball. You throw him something soft, that's what he pulls.
When the day began, the Cardinals' Matt Carpenter was leading the National League with 28 doubles. Buster now has 27. Here's Pablo. That's a foul down the right field line. It's 0-1. Pablo hit a shot into the gap in right center for a double in the first inning that knocked Buster Posey in. Buster scored from first base in that scenario. Here's Pablo trying to knock him in again. Nobody out. Posey at second. Only Posey and Pablo have had hits for the Giants. They've had only 3 hits total. They lead 1-0. One ball, one strike. If you were facing Pablo, would you keep the ball down like that but out of the strike zone?
I don't think I'd throw anything down. I mean, we've seen Pablo Sandoval hit pitches literally 6 inches off the ground out of the ballpark. I would not pitch him down. I think he's a natural low ball hitter.
So you're playing with fire if you keep the ball down like that.
Exactly. I would cut him on the hands with something flat.
One ball, one strike. And a foul tip.
If you do go down, maybe bounce a big curveball on the home plate, but never leave anything up or he can hurt you. This was the home run that he hit in Thursday night's game 1 of the series. And look at how extended he was and how far out front he was. And he hit the ball out of the ballpark in left center, or right center rather. I mean, that's a remarkable testimony to the hand strength that Pablo Sandoval has.
That part of this ballpark has always been a graveyard for home run hitters.
It does not lack for strength.
They have moved the fences in out there just a few feet. And they moved them in straightaway right field and right center. That's probably the place where the fences are much further in than they used to be before. And the fence is lower out there in right and right center. They say where Jack Daniels is, that basically you used to have to hit it out there to get a home run before. 1-2 the count. Up and away. 2-2. Sandoval, by the way, 4 hits now in 9 career at bats against Volquez. So he hasn't seen him that much, but he's had his moments against him. The dimensions at Petco Park, this is last year, an outlet 402 deep left center, 402 deep right center, and now the changes 12 feet in left center and 11 feet in right center. But the area between 322 and the 391, that area moved in maybe 12 to 15 feet from where it used to be. And that's where they have the little picnic area now. What is that? Picnic area? Party area? What?
Absolutely.
Kind of choice looking seats out there. Right behind the right field wall. That ball is hammered into center field. Amarista, no! Buster was back tagging up. And he'll be stopped at third. Here's the relay from Jerko. Buster did not go halfway. He thought Amarista was squaring up to catch it. Maybe Amarista thought he was too, but it didn't happen.
Well, a breaking ball with a little bit of hang to it right at the knees. And there again, low ball. That is his strength. And he backs this thing over the head of Amarista. There wasn't anything that Buster could do. He had to wait to see if this ball was going to get caught. He could not commit. So you're thinking, all right, I'm going to tag up. So he even comes back closer to the bag, and Tim Flannery, with nobody out, has no choice. Now, Buster, I mean, he's upset. I think he's thinking he cost Sandoval an RBI, but I don't think he could have played it any other way. When he thought that ball was going to get caught, he went back to the bag to tag up and at least make it a productive out to get over to third base and get a runner at third, less than 2 outs. But when it went over his head, he couldn't score.
The middle infield backed up, and Hunter Pence with a wild swing. And he missed that ball by maybe not a full foot, but close to it.
I was thinking 2 feet.
Wow.
That's just a guy who had up in his mind that he was going to swing no matter what.
Facing a pitcher that has always been a nightmare for him. He's 4 for 29 lifetime against Volquez. Just a ground ball to a middle infield would knock in a run here. And that'll do it. Jerko. The Pence is out. Posey scores. Pablo goes to third. And that's about as productive an out as anybody could ever have. Knocking in a run and setting up a scenario where the next hitter could do the same thing.
Exactly. And that really is good situational at bat. Now the Padres are going to have to adjust their defense. They'll play in defense of Belt here. But the defense is trying to stay out of a big inning. They're playing back. They're going to concede a run. And for a guy who just doesn't see Volquez very well, and it was noticeable in the very first pitch, for Pence to get the ground ball, get that run in, that's a good at bat.
2-0 Giants. Here's Belt. The infield is in all the way around, so a ground ball might not get it done now. A fly ball that was caught could get Pablo home. Now you see how they're playing it. The shortstop being all the way to the grass. The second baseman Jerko is more halfway toward the grass. Belt grounded out to second his first time. Volquez from the windup. 2-0.
Yeah, he's pitching for the strikeout, which is what he should be pitching for. Run at third, less than 2 outs. That's a strikeout situation for a strikeout pitcher like Volquez.
Tanaka is the man on deck.
It's dangerous here, though. If you're pitching for the strikeout, I mean, it's an easy situation where if you have a guy with a good eye like Belt, you can walk him.
That is over the inside at 94 miles an hour for a strike. 2-1.
Yeah, I think that's one of his bread and butter pitches, especially the lefties. He'll start that two-seam fastball off the plate in and let the movement come back into the strike zone. And at that velocity, that's a pitch you give up on early, and then it just freezes you when it comes back to the zone. Front door sinker.
Did he swing? An appeal? Yes. Mike Winters, the third base umpire, said he swung at that. And it's 2-2. He tried to keep himself from doing so.
Yeah, it's close. In fact, he extended so far without breaking his wrist. I think it's what gave him up. But I think if had it not been called a strike, you wouldn't have got much of an argument for Bud Black, the Padres skipper.
2-2 the count to Belt. That ball is crushed. Deep right center field. Venable. Goodbye. A long 2-run homer for Brandon Belt. Out onto the beach. And it is 4-0 Giants.
And that comes in a 2-strike count. Home run number 10. And when he does that, that's the one swing of the bat in a 2-strike scenario, because he doesn't have much of a 2-strike adjustment to his swing. It's that compact for a big man. And that's what's your appetite. You need to see more of this. Very short, very quick, very explosive. And boy, he knew it when he left the batter's box. See you later.
You can hear all those Giants fans, and there are a lot of them. Talking to Tony Abreu about it. Pablo Sandoval over. Congratulate him. So Belt, his 10th home run. That is the most he has ever hit in a full season in his young big league career. Hit 9 last year and 7 the year before. And that was a big fly. Have the sort of a beach area out there behind the right field wall. As Tanaka swings and misses.
You're right. I mean, you said it earlier. This is the graveyard part of this ballpark. You just don't see many home runs go out. And this one was way out of here. I think a Giants fan got it. Some anger in that pitch.
Brandon Belt, 10 home runs. And now 37 runs batted in. Jerko. Tanaka is retired. He's 0 for 2. 2 down. 3 runs in for the Giants in this inning.
Well, for comprehensive coverage of everything orange and black, check out pregame live and postgame live before and after every Giants telecast on Comcast Sportsnet, authentic Bay Area sports.
Now, the Padres people tell us that their estimate of the distance from home plate to the point where that one landed, 414 feet. Looks like SpongeBob SquarePants himself is out there now with a tour of children showing them where Belt's prodigious blast landed. There he is.
Are you a SpongeBob fan?
Who lives in a pineapple under the sea? SpongeBob SquarePants. Headley to end the inning. Crawford fouls out. Brandon Belt caps a 3-run Giants run with a big fly. The big hitters coming up with the Padres against Lincecum. 4-0 Giants. Receive Giants headphones courtesy of freecreditscore.com. And Sunday, the first 7,500 fans 14 and under will receive a Pablo Sandoval jersey courtesy of the Monterey Bay Aquarium. sfgiants.com. Get your seats for the Giants and the D-backs this coming weekend. Headley quickly is in an 0-2 hole against Tim Lincecum.
Lincecum, the first pitch, big curveball to steal strike one, and then he comes back with a slider down and in. Headley just not picking him up at all.
Headley walked his first time.
And this is what Lincecum has done. I mean, he's just softballing, throwing a lot of his off-speed stuff, not really going to the fastball.
He has struck out the last 5 Padres in a row and make it 6. The big hook. Wow. Even for Lincecum, 6 in a row. That's a pretty good stretch.
And all swing and miss strike threes. Now, this is as big a curveball as he can throw. And watch the straight down drop. I mean, that's a rough assignment. That's falling off the table right there. Headley overmatched.
I think that big slow curve lately, he may have had better command of that pitch than he's ever had of that particular pitch.
I agree with you.
Here's Carlos Quentin. And he hits it a mile foul right. I think that's headed for your room in the hotel, Mike.
That was an upper decker. If you remember right, though, when Lincecum showed up at the big league level, that's right, it's my room right there. Don't be messing with my room.
Incoming.
When Lincecum got to the big leagues, he was a 2-pitch guy, a fastball and a big curveball.
That is a fair ball. Long throw for Pablo. Right there.
Not a problem. Cannon. Well, Giants Baseball is brought to you in part by your Bay Area Jeep dealer and the unique brand of freedom you'll only find in a full line of Jeep vehicles. Visit Jeep.com to learn more.
Well, that ground out ended the stretch of strikeouts for Lincecum, but a quick out from the slugger Carlos Quentin. I think he'll happily take it. And Pablo Sandoval is showing off that arm. He's got a great arm. Here is Alonso. A lot of things are. Pablo looks like a whole new player now. The one we were seeing just a week ago.
Yeah, the key for Pablo Sandoval is always going to be weight. When he can get his weight manageable, get it down. He's one of the best players in this game. But when he has come back from this injury to his foot, it has taken him a while to feel comfortable both at the plate and on the field because of the pain that he's had in his foot. I think he's starting to feel better now.
The splitter 1-2. He has taken off some of that weight here in the last couple of weeks. So Giants have asked him to do, and he's worked hard at it. 2-2 now to Alonso, who hit a fly ball deep to center his first time. He's 0 for 1. 2 down, nobody on. 4-0 Giants here in the 4th inning. Pablo, by the way, tonight 2 doubles. And a run batted in this game. And his doubles were very well hit, both. One to the gap in right center to knock in a run, and one over the head of the center fielder to straightaway center. Off the left field line, foul.
See a lot of his fastballs second, third time in the guys hit off of Lincecum in a game. They're late on him, and that tells you that they're not looking for fastballs. They're fighting those fastballs off. They're sitting soft, and it's kind of the trend that he's been in lately because his curveball slider split have been so good. He's been riding those hard.
That is just foul. On down the right field line, but a foul ball.
Another off-speed pitch pulled. And that's what guys will look for. I mean, they don't always look for a specific pitch. They'll look for a certain speed, or they'll sit slider speed, which is the hardest breaking ball, thinking that they have a chance to fight off a fastball sitting slider and still hit the curveball split. Or they'll look location, in or out.
Alonso, he's had some good swings against Lincecum tonight as he just barely got a piece of that off-speed delivery to stay alive. He hit that deep fly ball to center in the second. Just missed an extra base hit here a moment ago down past first base. But he is only 2 for 18 lifetime against Lincecum. This will be the 9th pitch of this sequence. And the big curve, but he took it. 3-2. Giants left side of the infield playing Alonso to pull the ball. Not nearly as much on the right side of the infield. And the outfield plays him a little bit toward left. That's right down the middle. Strike 3 called. I don't know where Alonso thought it was. Getting over.
He wasn't looking fastball.
At Yankee Stadium, 4-1 by the Minnesota Twins, who hit 3 homers against Phil Hughes. 7-3 the Blue Jays over the Orioles, although Chris Davis hit his 36th home run. The Rays won their 9th in their last 10. They beat the Astros 4-3, and it was Cleveland with a 5-3 win over the Kansas City Royals. Cleveland has been hot lately. Kazmir got the win. Scott Kazmir, who's resurrected his career this season. Tim Lincecum leads off for the Giants, taking ball 1 from Edinson Volquez. 5th inning, 4-0 Giants. A strike call to the outside. Lincecum had a 7-pitch battle with Volquez before he, on the 7th pitch, grounded out to second back in the 3rd inning. So he's 0 for 1. The outfield shallow and over toward the left field side against him. 1 ball and 2 strikes now.
Just a cruise control, easy 90-mile-an-hour fastball from Volquez.
In the dirt with the curve, and the count is 2 balls, 2 strikes.
You know, we were talking about guys that sit slider speed or sit off speed against certain pitchers, and with Lincecum, you know, he's throwing a lot of those slider curveball splits, more so than the fastball. A lot of guys will guess even at 2-strike counts, and it happened on the 3rd strike of the final out in the 4th inning for Yonder Alonso.
And it was a fastball that was right in there.
Fastball right down the drain, and you think, well, how could he take that, especially at a 2-strike count? Well, he was cheating. He was guessing for something soft.
7th strikeout for Lincecum. Always dangerous, especially with 2 strikes. Well, Tim Lincecum draws a walk. Let's go back to the out-of-town scores in the American League parks. How about this? Texas beat Detroit. You know who got the loss? Max Scherzer.
Really?
He was 13-0.
Wow.
Now 13-1. Adrian Beltre hit a home run in that game. The Athletics with A.J. Griffin on the mound, leading John Lester and the Red Sox 1-0 at the Coliseum, top of the 6th. And up in Seattle, the Mariners have a 1-0 lead over the Angels. Jared Weaver pitching that one for the Angels. Here is Blanco. Blanco's 0 for 2. That is called a strike. Curveball in there. Blanco has struck out, and then he tried that swinging bunt and hit it right back to Volquez in the 3rd inning. He's 0 for 2. So Tim Lincecum, he went to a 3-2 count, finally grounded out his first time. This time he walked on a 3-2 pitch.
Good changeup. What makes a good changeup? Well, deception in the arm action. If you can sell it in the eye of a hitter as a pitcher, you could throw the same type of arm action, arm speed, on a changeup that you do with the fastball. That's going to be what is so convincing to the hitter that a fastball is coming. And then if you're 10 miles short, you got him.
And the curveball. Well, he made short work of Gregor Blanco. Down on strikes.
Softball him, change ups and curveballs. And he got him to chase out of the strike zone down.
Fifth strikeout for Volquez. There's SpongeBob. Well, he has handlers. Look at that. He doesn't move that well when he's not in the ocean. So one thing we've learned tonight. When you live in a pineapple under the sea and you're up on dry land, it's tough. It's tough going. And there's a strike to Scudero. Scudero has grounded a short and flied out to shallow left center.
He looks like me coming down the stairs.
Tim Lincecum, the runner at first, with Scudero at the plate. Scudero has not had a hit so far against Volquez. He's only 2 for 14 lifetime against him.
For a second, plate umpire Mark Wegner stepped out because he was waiting for SpongeBob to get down the stairs. That's some 91-mile-an-hour paint in the outside corner.
0-2. By the way, I had said that accurately that the Giants' entourage is going to the All-Star game, including Marco Scudero, Buster Posey, Madison Bumgarner, Sergio Romo, who will be playing for the National League in the All-Star game. But I said Airstream. They had a couple of Airstream, and a friend of mine, Richard Tower, points out as Scudero strikes out that he and his wife have an Airstream, which they hook up to their car and they drive to the campground. So I may have had the wrong name of the kind of planes that they're chartering, but
he had the wrong stream.
Buster Posey now. He had an infield single and scored a run in the first, and then he hit a double at one hop and over the wall down the left field line in the fourth inning, and he scored then too. Pablo right behind him. Both Posey and Pablo are 2 for 2 in this game. Buster a single and a double. Pablo 2 doubles. Ball one. Posey's average now is up at 324. An on base percentage of 395. His OPS is now 933. Anything over 900 is very good. That's a called strike. That means you're just one of the top premier hitters toward the elite end of the game. Four nothing Giants. 2 down. Lincecum, the runner at first. It came back and caught the outside. A lot of movement at 93 miles an hour. 1-2.
That's always really been one of his strengths, that side of the plate. To lefties, he comes front door. To righties, it's back door. I mean, it's movement you see early. You don't have a lot of time to decide at 93, 94 miles per hour. And then the movement comes back to the strike zone. And if you have an umpire with a wide strike zone, you're in trouble.
Got a piece of that one. Just barely staying alive. The count 1-2. Pablo on deck would come to bat if Buster could keep the inning going here. The infield swung around toward the third base side, playing into pull, except Alonso, who's on the bag at first with Lincecum. Now, how did he get a piece of that one? That looked like it was about to bounce when he hit it.
We see him do that a lot, though. He'll fight off a lot of really good pitches with the hopes that you're going to see a mistake further down the line, and a lot of times he does. That was not a mistake.
Fighting off those tough 2-strike pitches and keeping the at-bat going. Base hit to left field. And Volquez on the mound just slumped his shoulders and looked up to the sky in frustration.
Well, you live to see a better pitch to hit, and then you take advantage of it. And you get it going good. I mean, everything he hits seems to find a hole, and that's kind of the groove that Bosey's been in now. And I guess she's been in that groove for a long time.
He's 3 for 3 tonight. Lincecum over at second base now. Lincecum led off the inning with a walk against Volquez. Now here's Pablo, who has scorched the ball a couple of times. A laser beam into the right center field gap to knock in a run in the first inning. And then a shot over the head of Amarista, the center fielder, for a double in the fourth. He's knocked in one and scored one. One ball, no strikes. The man on deck, Hunter Pence, is a guy that Volquez has owned. What do you call it?
Ownage.
He's had ownage on him. But he does have a base open here. Pablo's now 5 for 10 lifetime against him, and 3 of his 5 hits have been doubles. 2 of them tonight.
Well, 2 outs. He's got an open base to play with here. He doesn't have to give in to Sandoval with Hunter Pence on deck. And we talked about the success that Volquez has had lifetime against Hunter Pence. He owns it.
Ownage. So now Rivera out to talk to Volquez, and Cabrera, the shortstop, also joins. Bud Black, meanwhile, talking to Darren Balsley, the Padres pitching coach. Volquez has already thrown past 90 pitches in this game. He's still in the 5th inning. The Giants have forced him to build up that pitch count, as they did last night for the young right-hander O'Sullivan. He pitched 5 innings and threw 102 pitches. And Marquis Thursday night, same story. And Pablo takes it low, 2-0, refusing to go out of the strike zone. As you pointed out earlier, that's down in that spot. He wants to hit that ball, but this one he said, no, he wants me to chase that one.
His confidence has soared since he's gotten to San Diego. Completely different hitter than what Giants saw back in the last homestand back in San Francisco.
2 men on, 2 men out, 2-0 the count. Just as he started to swing, he thought better of it. Too late.
Yeah, you hate to see a guy check a swing when he's got 2-0 count leverage.
But he is more and more look like he's pitching him, as you pointed out, with a base empty. He doesn't have to throw him a strike.
Well, you got a free swinger up there and you got an open base. He's hurt you twice already. You're crazy if you give him something to hit.
2-1 the count. Right through the middle. Now Lincecum is the runner, and he's going to be held at third as Amarista comes up throwing. So the bases are loaded for Hunter Pence, and just like Posey, Pablo Sandoval is now 3 for 3 in this game.
Well, and watch the location. I mean, this is a great pitch to hit. It's right there. That's T-ball location, middle of the plate at the belt. When a guy gets it going good for whatever reason, he seems to get better pitches to hit. He stays in the strike zone. 2 times tonight. Pablo Sandoval has gotten a hit with a runner in scoring position, and he hasn't gotten an RBI. And one of those hits, he hit to the wall in center. It was a double. He's got to think of, what do I have to do to get an RBI?
But his batting average with runners in scoring position is soaring.
Indeed it is.
Darren Balsley, the pitching coach, out for a conference at the mound. Back to the dugout now as Pence comes up. Pence got an RBI just by hitting a ground ball to second his last time. But he'll need a hit or a Padre mistake here. Well, he chases that one again, way off the outside, just like the last time he was up there.
He's not seeing it at all. You can't miss a ball that much and tell me you're seeing the guy well.
On 1 to Hunter Pence. Struck out his first time, grounded out to not get a run in the fourth. Bases are loaded for the Giants. Lincecum at third, Posey at second, Sandoval at first. Well, he threw him the same pitch this time. Pence laid off. This next pitch, by the way, will be number 97 for Volquez, and his 25th of this inning. He threw 24 in the previous inning.
Still nobody up in the Padre bullpen.
4-0. The Giants are leading. Bases loaded, trying to send some people home. Here is Hunter Pence. And the changeup. 1-2. I don't even know if Hunter's even seen a strike tonight. He's been swinging at a lot of pitches, but not at any pitches in the strike zone. Padres just now do get their bullpen going. Right center field. That one is crushed. And they can all run for a while. Lincecum, Posey, Pablo, and they all score a triple for Hunter Pence. Seven nothing Giants. Now that had to feel especially good for Hunter Pence.
And look at the location. He hangs a breaking ball right out over the middle of the plate, and Hunter Pence jumps all over it. And you're right, that one has to feel good. He's had a couple of frustrating at-bats off him already tonight, but here with the bases loaded and a 2-strike count, he comes up huge, and the Giants for the second night in a row create distance against these Padres.
First hit of the game for Hunter Pence, but he now has 4 RBIs in the game. And here's Brandon Belt, who hit one over that wall in a similar part of the ballpark, deep right center, his last time up. Tim Lincecum got it all started with a walk, and now 3 runs are in. Down and in, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Hunter Pence is so hard on himself. His expectations are so high, and he's just been in a prolonged slump, and he's been trying to stay as positive as he possibly can. It's not easy, especially when you know how important you are to that lineup. And you're right, John. I agree 100%. That had to feel like Christmas Day.
The changeup, 1-2. Tim Stauffer is the man warming up in the Padres bullpen. They have used that bullpen a lot already. I'm sure Buddy Black was hoping that Volquez might be able to go a little bit deeper than just here into the 5th inning. 2 down in the 5th, 3 more runs are in. That was pitch number 102 and his 30th here in the 5th inning. The Giants have scored 10 runs last night, have backed it up with 7 more in the 5th inning tonight. There's Pence over at third. Well, we know how hard Pence works, how committed he is, how hard he plays every moment of every game. Felt good from up here to see him do that. The struggle has been so great. And it's felt great from up here just to see Pablo get it going. Brandon Crawford has started to hit. Base hit. Pence is in. 8-0. And Brandon Belt may feel just as good as Hunter Pence right now, because while the Giants have been scoring and hitting the ball well in this series, not so much for Brandon Belt until now. That's his 3rd RBI of the night. So it's as if Posey and Pablo have been the guys getting on base at the top of the order, and Pence and Belt have been hitting in the RBI spots. They've been knocking in Pablo and Posey all night long.
Now this offense has been so frustrated for the last month. This is exactly what they needed.
4 RBIs for Pence, 3 RBIs for Belt. Tanaka. Tanaka is another guy, and you pointed out the last time he was up there, does not look like he's getting a good read on these offerings from Volquez.
It just hasn't had the same type of balance in his swing against Volquez as we've seen in any of his other starts.
1 ball, no strikes. And the fastball for a strike.
I mean, that's a 1-0 fastball right down the drain, and you can't pull the trigger on it.
Volquez is due up 4th in the last half of the 5th inning. And they're sticking with him here. He's allowed 8 runs, 3 in the 4th inning and 4 more here in the 5th inning. And the changeup.
Well, that's a good changeup as he could throw. Well, he's made some location mistakes, big time location mistakes, especially with 2 strikes in this game. And to the Giants' credit, they have not missed him.
Posey with 2 outs, and Lincecum at first got the single. Remember, he was behind in the count 0-2 almost before he even got to the plate. Jerko throws out Tanaka. And you hear the cheer from the Giants fans here. 8 men back, 4 of them score. 8-0 Giants. Atlanta, and they needed a win in San Diego against the expansion Padres.
Swung on, hit deep to left. That one is way back, way back, way back. Well, by number 600 for Willie Mays and the bye-bye Baby Bonanza. And the Giants come to home plate to clean.
Willie Mays, with 599 home runs lifetime, came up as a pinch hitter against the Padres' Mike Corkins in a 2-2 tie in the 7th inning and hit a 2-run homer. And that broke the tie. The Giants won it 4-2, and it was his 600th career home run. And the Giants had a contest in those days called the Bye Bye Baby Bonanza inning.
That was rough.
It was the 7th inning of that game, and some fan won, I don't know, $3,000 or something. The pot grew every day if there was no home run hit, and none had been hit in the home run inning for a long time. That's all for Jed Jerko. Tim Lincecum picks right back up where he left off. That's his 8th strikeout. He has struck out 8 of the last 9 hitters that he's faced. Wow.
Well, hey, it's been in there. It's been a matter of being able to be consistent with that arm slot that allows you to do what you can do. He really has been flirting with this for the last 4 starts. And it was the 6th inning that kind of did him in the previous starts. But for him to have this type of stuff and not have a win since June 4th is amazing. Last 12 of the 3rd innings, 19 strikeouts.
1-1 to Venable, who with 1 out and 1 on came to bat in the 2nd inning, and he struck out. That was the first strikeout of the night for Lincecum. And in one complete turn through the Padre lineup since then, he struck out 8 of the 9 Padres. Back door with the breaking ball. Strike 2 call.
Well, he is carving them up, and you cannot do that unless you have command your release point. Something he's been searching for a year and a half to be consistent with. It's come in spurts.
Brandon Belt got a tough hop, handled it cleanly. Lincecum with the put out. 2 down.
Well, the NBC Bay Area Investigative Unit, who are they? Well, they're led by Tony Kovaleski, and they're an award-winning team of 14 journalists dedicated to holding the powerful accountable. The Investigative Unit on NBC Bay Area. We investigate.
What are you looking at me for? I have nothing that they would need to investigate.
Yeah, but you're powerful.
I didn't do it, I tell you. And I have no comment. 2 down here is Rene Rivera, 8th place hitter. He struck out his first time. Lincecum at one point struck out 6 in a row. The last 2 batters of the second. Struck out the side in the third, and then struck out Headley to start the fourth. Matching his career record for consecutive strikeouts in a game, as that one is fouled off the right field line. 1 ball, 1 strike. It was back in June of 2011, an interleague game against the Minnesota Twins that he had 6 consecutive strikeouts. He's had 8 in the game. 8 of the last 10. The 1-1 pitch. Strike 2 called.
I get asked this all the time. Do I think Tim Lincecum could be a Cy Young Award winner again? Do I think that he could get back to where he was when he won the 2 Cy Youngs? And I say absolutely. He just needs to have command of his motion. He has to be able to locate. He has to be able to have the ability to throw his pitches for location strikes. And he's doing it tonight.
Lincecum has retired 11 in a row. 8-0 Giants. On to the 6th. Well, last night he had 3 of those hits in the one game, plus a walk. This single in the 4th inning, and then a double in the 6th inning. Kept on going. Another double in the 8th inning. Almost a home run right down the right field line. Swinging the bat well again. And he was, other than Buster Posey, almost everybody in the lineup was in a similar kind of a slump. It was just a nightmare for all of them. Here is Tim Stauffer on to pitch now. Volquez is finished. And Stauffer comes in as part of a double switch. Logan Forsythe also comes into the game in right field. Venable is out. And Forsythe will hit 9th and be due up first in the last of the 6th inning. Here's Forsythe now in right field. Brandon Crawford has struck out looking and fouled out to third. And he's a guy. Volquez is out of the game. He may well be saying good. Wasn't going that well for him against Volquez. Blanco and Scudero the same thing. Both of them 0 for 3 against Volquez. Good hop there for Cabrera. 1 away. Brandon Crawford back on June 13th in Pittsburgh got involved in a rundown between home and third. Alvarez there with the ball to the pitcher, and then Crawford brushing Alvarez, and that was called obstruction. And he was sent home. And just about a month later, we had one last night with Tanaka between second and third.
And in a rundown, you can cause that as a base runner. I mean, it really is a technique. We talked a little bit about it last night. I mean, one of the games that kids used to play a lot of was pickle. And you get 3 guys, 1 guy would be in the middle, and you basically have 2 guys as if they were standing on bases. And the one guy would try to steal a base, the other guy would try to get a rundown and get the guy. And it solved a lot of things. One, it taught you how to run in a rundown, and it taught you how to get a guy out in a rundown. But the beauty of that game is that you would learn that if a guy's chasing you, once that ball came over your shoulder when he was flipping it to the other guy playing catch, you could stop. That guy would run into you. And it is a technique, and we saw it work last night with Tanaka. And I think a lot of kids don't even know that it's an option. That it's something you can do as a base runner.
We used to play that every day. If there were more of us, we'd actually play some kind of a game. But if there were just 3 of us, we'd play pickle.
It was good if you had like 4 or 5 guys, because if you had 3, the guy in the middle would just get wore out.
Well, if we had 3, the guy would get tagged out, then he had to be one of the guys trying to tag him out. We rotated. 2 down, nobody on. Blanco the hitter.
But that really was a great game. I mean,
it's a fun game.
It develops skills that are relative to plays you get during the game.
And you get a good workout.
You do.
That is just foul. Blanco 0 for 3 in this game. And the other part of it is there's just 2 guys running you down. It's not like the outfielder comes in and the pitcher gets involved or the shortstop comes rushing over and they got half the team trying to tag you out. You play pickle, if there's just the 3 of you, it's just 2 guys trying to tag you out.
The other game that we used to play a lot of that you don't see played anymore is Pepper.
Strike 3 called to Blanco, who can console himself with the fact that the Giants are leading 8-0. Hits, nothing at all. We've had 2 men reach base, 1 on a walk and 1 hit by a pitch against Tim Lincecum. And here's Logan Forsythe just this inning entering the game as part of a double switch, and the curveball in there for a called strike. Eight strikeouts in 5 innings for Lincecum, 1 walk. And the foul makes it 0-2.
That last pitch for Lincecum, number 80.
Top of the order will follow Forsythe, Everett Cabrera, and then Alexi Amarista. 8 runs, 9 hits for the Giants, leading 8-0 here in the 6th. And then the fastball back to the screen.
Padres have only had 2 base runners, one by way of the walk back in the 1st inning, and then Jed Jerko was hit by a pitch in the 2nd inning, and that's been it.
Nobody has reached since then. Lincecum has retired 11 in a row, 8 on strikeouts. Make it 12 in a row, 9 have gone down on strikes. Wow. The out-of-town scores from the National League Park, sponsored by your Bay Area Jeep dealer. Visit Jeep.com. The Braves got some strong pitching and a 5-2 win. They're all banged up, but Mike Minor got his 9th win of the year. In 11 innings, the first game of a doubleheader. It was 5-4 the White Sox over the Phils. Interleague play, and it's tied in the top of the 12th in game 2 in Philly. Everett Cabrera takes a called strike. The Dodgers got a 2-hit shutout from Zach Greinke. His 7th win. He's 7-2 and beating the Rockies 1-0 in LA today. Tyler Chatwood, the tough luck loser, he also went the distance in a 1-0 loss at Dodger Stadium. They had over 51,000 at Chavez Ravine. 1 ball, 1 strike. Cabrera has grounded out to first and struck out, hitting .290. Lincecum and that misses. 2-1.
There's not been a lot of shaking off tonight between Lincecum and Posey. And I think Posey handles him beautifully. Think back early in the year where you'd see a Lincecum start, how many balls that he would throw in the dirt that would absolutely beat up a catcher. Just not an easy guy to catch. And the reason for it is he mechanically was not sound. He has found his mechanics. This is about the 5th consecutive start. He's taken good mechanics into a start.
3-2.
And when you come out of a mechanical funk, it doesn't all come together immediately. If you have 5 pitches, you may throw 3 good ones, 2 bad ones, then 4 good ones, 1 bad one. And then you'll hold it for a while, then all of a sudden you lose it. You come back the next start, you find it again. You go 4 good ones, 2 bad ones, 5 good ones, 1 bad one, 6 good ones, 2 bad ones. And then gradually you gain more control, more consistency, and then one day, boom, it's back.
First base runner for the Padres since the second inning. The walk to Cabrera. Some other games, the Cubs beat the Cardinals again, and that was Matt Garza. A lot of people think he's going to be traded at any moment. Much talked about. 6-4 Cubs over the Cardinals. The Pirates beat the Mets 4-2. And the Marlins in 10 innings over the Nats 2-1 in Miami. The Brewers playing in Arizona. Arizona's hit 3 home runs in that game, but all solos, and otherwise they haven't scored. They're trailing Kyle Loesch and the Brewers 4-3 in the last of the 7th inning there. Lucroy a home run for Milwaukee. Kubel, Montero, and Gregorius have gone deep for the D-backs. It's a ball and a strike now to Amarista, who has flied out to right and struck out. 1 out. Cabrera at first. Cabrera leads the league in steals, 32 steals, even though he spent a couple of weeks on the disabled list. 2-1. Eight to nothing Giants, last of the 6th. Lincecum, remember, had 11 strikeouts in his previous start Monday night against the Mets at AT&T Park. That's foul. 2-2 the count now. He's had 9 so far in this game in 5 1/3 innings, including Amarista back in the 3rd. Chase Headley is on deck. Giants middle infielders double play depth with Belt on the bag at first with the runner, a fast runner. And both Crawford at short and Scudero at second. They're both shaded a bit further toward the middle, as well as being pulled in a bit. Quick throw by Lincecum, just a split second late. And almost caught Cabrera by surprise.
Well, I don't think he's going to be stealing in an 8-0 game, but may have caught him by surprise. Totally, I agree.
Off the outside, 3-2.
Pitch count starting to be a concern now for Bochy. 93 pitches. We talked about the 6th inning being a nemesis for Lincecum last 3 starts.
Cabrera runs, swing and a miss, strike 3. The throw, not in time. Throw right there by Buster Posey, and that was close. But Cabrera apparently slid under the tag to get his 33rd steal, and Lincecum gets his 10th strikeout, 2nd game in a row in which he's had 10 or more.
The changeup on the outside corner has Amarista way out front. Not an easy pitch to throw off if you're Posey. And well, I tell you what, I mean, Posey thought he had him. A little disappointed there. He thought he had thrown him out.
Well, this is the 34th time in Lincecum's career he's had 10 or more strikeouts in a game. The last time that he had consecutive games with 10 or more was back in 2010. Late April and early May, one against the Phillies and one against the Marlins in Florida. The Giants have had a pitcher with consecutive double-digit strikeout games in the interim, and that was Madison Bumgarner back in 2011, late August and early September. A ball and a strike. That one bounces away from Posey. For 3rd goes Cabrera, and he makes it. And that was a very opportunistic bit of base running by Cabrera. He was the first Padre even to get as far as 2nd base with his steal. Now he's to 3rd on the wild pitch.
Ball in the dirt. Posey picks it up on a 1-hop. But just a good anticipation from Cabrera. He had a nice jump once he saw that ball spit away from Posey, which is what you're supposed to do once you get your secondary lead.
Three and one to Chase Headley, who has walked and struck out in this one. Headley has had 11 hits in 41 career at bats against Lincecum. He's had 3 home runs against him. And he gets a walk. Well, these, I suppose, could be indicators of some fatigue for Lincecum. As you mentioned, the 6th inning has been the inning of extreme difficulty for Lincecum, even in this stretch where he has pitched so well.
Let's take a look at the strikeouts tonight as Dave Righetti comes out to talk to Tim Lincecum. And he's really heated it up in the 2nd inning. First strikeout of the game was Venable in the 2nd inning. Then he follows it up with Rivera. Then he gets Cabrera, Amarista, Headley, and then he gets Alonso looking on a fastball. Jerko gets swinging, and then he gets Amarista again, and then the number 10 was Forsythe in this inning. Or rather, Forsythe was 10, Forsythe was 9, Amarista was 10. So the outfield's starting to get heated up. Well, Lincecum's been brilliant.
2 on, 2 out, and here is the dangerous Quentin. And it's 0-1. Quentin has flied out to shallow left and grounded out to third. That was the 100th pitch of the game thrown by Lincecum. 8-0 Giants. 2 on, 2 out. Quentin, who is a notorious first pitch swinger, one of the most prolific in the league. That is a breaking ball in for a called strike 2, and Quentin argues with Mark Wegner about it.
There you see the lines. Just 3 walks and a hit batsman, and that's the only way anybody's gotten on base tonight. 10 strikeouts through 5 2/3.
Curve in the dirt, blocked by Posey. Quentin has had 4 hits in 12 career at bats against Lincecum, including a double and a homer. Giants fans in abundance here at Petco Park. Right to Crawford. 6 shutout innings without a hit for Tim Lincecum. Scudero, Posey, and Pablo coming up
at AT&T Park. Tuesday, the July 23rd game will now become an old-fashioned doubleheader with the first game starting at 4:05.
Strike 1 to Marco Scudero.
Giants will be the road team in game 1 and will wear their road grays. And if you have a ticket to the game Tuesday night, come out early as you're going to get 2 games for the price of 1. So there are still great seats available for Tuesday's doubleheader, as well as the other 2 Reds games. If you want to come on out, we'd love to have you. sfgiants.com, get you in the door.
Back in the 60s when I was a kid, and I'm sure for a long time before that, there's Headley, and Scudero is 0 for 4. Here comes Buster Posey, who has a 3-hit game going. This was an infield hit, the first hit of the game. Then down the left field line, leading off the 4th inning. That was an automatic double. And then this 2-out single in the 5th inning. And both times it was the start of something big, or all 3 times the start of something big. He's been like the Giants' leadoff man, hitting 3rd. Every time he's reached, he has scored. He's had 3 hits, 2 singles and a double. And the man right behind him, Pablo Sandoval, has had a single and 2 doubles. So their 3rd, 4th spots in the batting order have a combined 6 for 6. And they've scored 5 of the Giants' runs. Pablo has had 2 hits with a runner in scoring position, as you pointed out. Didn't drive in a run either time. By the way, Chris Denorfia is now in right field, so something must have happened to Forsythe, who struck out in the 6th inning against Lincecum. That's a foul off the right field line. Posey facing Tim Stauffer here in the 7th inning with the Giants ahead 8-0. By the way, Lincecum at 103 pitches, and the Giants bullpen is quiet for the time. He had a long heart-to-heart with pitching coach Dave Righetti after he got back to the dugout.
Well, the mechanical groove that he's in right now, he didn't want to come out of this game. He's having a time of his life tonight. He's got 4 pitches that he can strike you out with. That's fun. And he's a guy that's never liked the pitch count.
That's into the upper deck off to the right. 3-2.
When he was in college, he threw 140, 150, 160 pitch games. Not a problem.
Well, it was not unusual for him to throw in the 130s, even the high 130s earlier on. Here is D'Onofrio on the run. Posey hit that one hard into right center, but this time he is out.
Oh, that's the most solid contact he's had on all 4 at bats, and that's the only time he's made an out. Go figure. They call that baseball.
Here's Pablo Sandoval. Pablo knocked in Posey with a shot into the gap in right center back in the first inning after Posey's infield hit. Then Posey doubled in the 4th, and Pablo also doubled, although Posey only got to 3rd. They both ended up scoring. And then Posey singled after Pablo singled after Posey singled to load the bases in the 5th inning. Lincecum had led off the inning with a walk. The Giants in those 2 innings, the 4th and 5th, ended up scoring 7 of their runs. Pablo 3 for 3 tonight. Very high. Stauffer, by the way, he pitched just last night. He came on in the 6th inning in relief of O'Sullivan, the starter. And he really struggled. He did not get out of the 6th inning. He threw 36 pitches in 2/3 of an inning when they finally went out to get him. He was charged with 3 runs and 3 hits and 2 walks. Tim Stauffer. The Giants are more used to seeing him as a starting pitcher. He's worked exclusively out of the bullpen this year. 2-2 to Pablo. 8 runs, 9 hits for the Giants. No runs, no hits for the Padres. The outfield is more or less straight away, except the right fielder, D'Onofrio, way off the right field line. And that's all for Pablo. Well, 2 strong innings for Stauffer tonight. Tim Lincecum will go back to the mound. Alonso coming up. Last of the 7th. We're right near the entrance to the famous Gaslamp Quarter in downtown San Diego at Petco Park, the home of the Padres. And the Giants are leading 8-0 over the Padres. But the night has belonged, despite all of that offense, and some big nights for both Posey, Pablo, and also Pence and Belt for that matter. The night has belonged to this man, Tim Lincecum. The curveball up and away. The question is the pitch count going to get him? He's struck out 10 and has not allowed a hit in 6 innings. But that was his 104th pitch. And up and away again.
Well, the pitch count is going to get him, unfortunately, but Lincecum 10 strikeouts, 9 of which have been swing and miss strike threes. 20 swing throughs tonight. Padres swinging and missing completely at 20 of his pitches. The most he's ever had is 31, but it's just been a night where he's having fun. He's having fun because he's got his toys back. You see Blanco in left field now with Andres Torres coming out for defensive purposes in center. 21 swing throughs.
There is Jake Dunning up in the bullpen. He'll be ready if needed. By the way, the 31 swings and misses that he had, the career high for him, that was in that famous Game 1 of the division series against Atlanta in 2010 when he had 14 strikeouts. Postseason game. That's his 11th strikeout in this game. But this is the most swings and misses, or swing throughs as you call them, that he's ever had in a regular season game. Alonso is gone.
Split finger fastball. So deceptive, and you can see the frustration. Alonso going out of the strike zone. He can't help it.
Got the high strike on that curveball to Jed Jerko, and it's 0-1. Jerko hit by a pitch, a 2-strike pitch at that in the second inning. Then he struck out in the fifth. Deep into left center field, but Blanco is squaring up. 2 down. And now a pinch hitter for Stauffer. Jesus Guzman will come up.
That's what he needs. He needs quick outs. Outs within 3 pitches. There's actually a statistic for that.
Ball 1 to Jesus Guzman, the pinch hitter, who is hitting .231 with 5 homers. He's had 5 pinch hits in 26 pinch hit at bats, 2 pinch hit home runs. And it's 2-0. Guzman has had success against Lincecum. A .429 lifetime average, 6 for 14. You see the numbers there in the small type. That's a fair ball. A long throw by Pablo. It's there! What a play! Lincecum with the shout out for Pablo Sandoval. No runs, no hits for the Padres through 7 against Lincecum. Joe Thatcher, veteran left-hander, in for the Padre bullpen. Pence fouls one over the screen, out of play. Pence has had 1 hit of the game, but he's knocked in 4 runs. You see Thatcher's numbers for the year.
Good numbers. He's a solid lefty, the only lefty in that Padres bullpen.
Deep into right center field. Amarista. And it's gone! A home run for Hunter Pence. And the Giants lead 9-0. And that's the 5th RBI of the night for Pence. And wouldn't that be something if Pence is now back?
He's been waiting to get hot. He said he's been flirting with it. He's been tinkering with his swing. He says, when I get it going good, those balls I hit to right field, they're not going to die short of the warning track. They're going to go over the wall. And remember the one he hit out in Arizona early in the year when he was hot? It was just like that.
Second home run of the night for the Giants. The other one was hit by the man standing in now, Brandon Belt. Well, Pence had a triple out in the deep right center that knocked in 3 runs in the 5th inning. Now a homer out to that part of the yard here in the 8th. He also knocked in a run with a ground out in the 4th inning. Listen to these Giants fans taking over Petco Park. After winning 10-1 last night, they lead 9-0 tonight. Brandon Belt has had a homer and a single and 3 runs batted in this game.
Think back to that series the Giants had in Cincinnati. There were 2 balls hit in that last game by Hunter Pence that went to the right side of the field. And he hit them well. And after the game, we were talking about his swing, and he says, I'm messed up. So why? He hit those balls to right field. Well, he says, I did hit those balls to right field, but I didn't have anything behind them. And when I'm right, I take that same ball that I hit, and it doesn't stop. It goes out of the ballpark. He got back to San Francisco, stayed up late, watching film, studying film of himself. Thought he saw something wrong in his hands. He was coming into his swing, and you could see the top of his hand was facing the sky. The top of his left hand, the hand that he holds the bottom of the bat with, was facing to the sky rather than coming in and facing that back of the hand towards the pitcher. He said he brought it out the next day in batting practice. He started working on changing that, getting that hand position back. He says slowly it started to come back into my swing, and maybe now he's starting to make it apply, because the at-bats that he's had tonight off a hanging breaking ball was a bases loaded triple, and now this opposite field home run. Both balls hit to the opposite side of the field have been driven with backspin. Much different than what we saw 10 days ago.
Andres Torres up for the first time. And Andres, who Has a .317 average when batting right-handed against the lefties. Jeff Francoeur joined the ball club today. They brought him up from Fresno. And that's all for Andres. 2 straight strikeouts for Thatcher after the home run by Pence. It'll bring up Brandon Crawford. Giants also activated Santiago Casilla, the right-handed reliever, off the disabled list. Francoeur, with the Padres having a left-hander scheduled for tomorrow, is going to be in the starting lineup as a left fielder. Right now the plan is Francoeur and Tanaka will platoon in left, and Blanco and Torres in center. Crawford with a count of 0-1. Crawford is struck out looking, fouled out to third, and grounded out to short. There's the man in the center of it all tonight, Tim Lincecum. He would be next.
Well, if there's anybody on this staff that could get extended, it would be him in regards to pitch count. There's his line tonight. 3 walks, 11 strikeouts.
Rivera, it's just beyond his reach, over the backstop into the crowd. 1-2. Giants have 10 hits and 9 runs in this game. 2 home runs. Belt and Pence have gone deep. And they've had
There's the new
3
Giant.
doubles and a triple.
Jeff Francoeur activated today. Santiago Casilla was activated today. Francoeur talking it over with Hunter Pence. Played a lot of baseball against each other.
2 longtime right fielders in the National League. Francoeur came up with Atlanta. Hunter came up with Houston. 2-2 now to Crawford.
Giants looking for the same type of magic with Jeff Francoeur that they got in 2010 with Pat Burrell. Burrell came into the Giants clubhouse and just brought a tremendous presence and energy. Huge part of why they won the World Series.
After Hunter Pence home run, Thatcher strikes out the side. Tim Lincecum will go back in the dugout, get rid of his helmet and bat, and get ready to pitch in the last of the 8th. Tuesday the 23rd is now a twilight doubleheader. The Giants and the Cincinnati Reds, they'll make up that rained out game as part of a doubleheader on Tuesday the 23rd. And here is Tim Lincecum. Rene Rivera, strike 1 call. 11 strikeouts, 3 walks, and there has not been a single hit for the Padres in this game. Rivera has struck out and grounded out to short. And
Lincecum really is on house money here, and he has to get quick outs. 116 pitches on the night. He had 11 pitches in the last inning, and that's what he has to be right now. And I say house money because he's got a 9-0 lead. There's no way he can lose this game.
Strikeout number 12.
He cannot nibble. He cannot walk people. He's got to go right at him. Beautiful split finger. Absolutely drop dead perfect. And the motion that he has been locked in all night long. The front foot lands, his release point out front. That is what he's been looking for consistently for a long time. And tonight he's had it locked in.
This is Denorfia. And ball 1, a curveball in the dirt. And that one got the plate umpire, Mark Wegner. He'll need a few moments to shake that off. Logan Forsythe, here's a look at it.
Right in the boiler, right underneath the chest protector.
Pablo to his left, and the throw. 2 down. Pablo had been flawless over there at third base tonight.
He's made some game changers. He has preserved this game and not allowed, as Lincecum is not allowed to hit. He was the guy that saved it.
Two down, nobody on. Everett Cabrera, the pesky leadoff man. Lincecum with 2 down in the 8th inning. Still needs 4 outs more. Strike, and it's 0-1.
0-1 has been his friend tonight. He has mixed all of his pitches to get that advantage. And now, even with a 9-0 lead, it is so very important because he's battling that pitch count like he's battling these Padre hitters.
A ball and a strike. That splitter running down and away. You heard those Giants fans groan, but it was called a ball. Don't care where it was, they just know where they wanted it to be.
And there's that same groan again you're talking about.
A groan followed by some outrage there.
Good effort by Posey trying to snag it back into the strike zone. Mark Wagner played umpire, not biting.
It's 3-1 now. That was pitch number 123 for Lincecum. Bruce Bochy, the manager. Dave Righetti on the right, the pitching coach. Excited like everybody else, but also concerned. 3-2 now.
Back toward him, a little slider. It has been his go-to pitch for most of this year. When he needs to make a location pitch, it's been with the slider.
On their feet in San Diego. And there may even be some Padre fans joining in now on a night when their team is way behind.
Lincecum has won the crowd tonight, folks.
Nope. Second time that Cabrera has walked. The 4th walk overall. Ron Wotus, the bench coach, alongside Bochy.
Giants bullpen's up. They're ready, and they've stopped throwing, so they're greased up and good to go. Jake Dunning, Jeremy Affeldt, they're both good to go. Should Bochy call them?
The high strike to Amarista. And you pointed that out at the very beginning. You're more liable to get the high strike from Wagner than the low strike, and we've seen that right here in this inning.
He really has an unusual strike zone when you compare it to anybody else in this crew.
Too high that time. A ball and a strike to Amarista, who has flied out to right and twice struck out. 2 of the 12 Lincecum strikeouts in the game. 2 down, runner at first. Strike 2.
89 right across the letters. And Amarista is a guy you can climb the ladder with fastballs. You can keep throwing him up there and he'll follow.
They're not holding at first against Cabrera. And that will go foul along the left field line into the crowd as Blanco gave chase. And he'll try it again.
Next pitch for Lincecum will be 130. And you can see the concern on Dave Greshner, the trainer's face. All of the teammates, Mike Murphy, Roberto Kelly directing traffic to the outfielders and how they position. Missed by 2 inches.
Amarista lurched back as if fearing he was going to be hit, but that almost caught the corner, and maybe it did. Called a ball, 2-2. Right field, and he dives! He's got it! Hunter Pence robbing Amarista of a hit. Something no Padre has had in 8 innings against Lincecum.
He can do this.
3 outs away. Well, the man who has been at center stage tonight at Petco Park will lead off the inning. And Brad Brock in to pitch for the Padres. Lincecum into the outfield. Amarista goes back a little bit for it. And that's one of his longest fly balls ever.
Let's watch the play that ended it for the Padres in the 8th inning. A shoestring grab, and Tim Lincecum immediately responding, and look at Amarista. Could not believe that he was denied.
He wanted to be the one to get that first Padre hit against Lincecum tonight, and he thought off the bat that he had done it. Now Gregor Blanco, who, like the Padres, is hitless. There's ball 1 from Brock. Brock, the 4th Padres pitcher of the game.
There you see the numbers for Brock. 1-0 with a 4.15 ERA. 23 strikeouts and 21 in the third. He's got good stuff. And that changeup is one of his big weapons.
Blanco will forever be remembered by Giants fans, maybe for any number of things, but forever for an incredible catch that he made during Matt Cain's perfect game in June of last year. And he and Hunter Pence are fellow travelers in that regard now, at least so far. Blanco had to go way back, and really he went into a field that wasn't even his own field. It was more center field than right field on a night when he was the right fielder in Cain's perfect game last year. Pence came in on this ball.
That was a magical catch he made to preserve the perfect game for Cain.
You could not see a better catch in a perfect game or any game than the one that Blanco made last year.
And I've never seen a right fielder catch a ball where he caught that ball.
Three and 2 the count to Blanco.
Also, that play that Pablo Sandoval made on Jesus Guzman back in the 7th inning, that was a remarkable play. So the defense really has had its hand in preserving the no-hitter tonight.
No pitch. Timeout was granted. Pablo has just been stellar at third base tonight, but that play was a little bit up in the elite level. From very deep third and on the foul side of the line, he had to make a long throw, and he got him. And that's all for Blanco. 0 for 5 with 4 strikeouts for him tonight. Well, if you're going to have a night like that, you might as well have it on a night like this. Here's that play by Pablo. A long throw.
And man, he really reached back for some velocity on that throw, too.
Scudero also hitless. A strike on the outside. Slider misses. 1 ball, 1 strike. Buster Posey on deck. Buster's had 3 hits tonight. 3 runs scored. Pablo's had 3 hits. Tim Lincecum has not had any hits, nor has he yielded any. D'Onofrio in right center. A quiet inning for the Giants.
But that's okay. We want to see the bottom half anyway.
Mere prelude to the final act of this play as Tim Lincecum, who has never gone this far in a game without allowing a hit in his major league career. And Lincecum getting ready to go out. He has already thrown 131 pitches in this game, remember. 5 years ago, as he heads out, an ovation from this crowd at Petco Park. They know what's at stake here. The Giants, in their San Francisco history, have had 6 no-hitters pitched, and only John the Count of Montefusco pitched one out of town. Marichal, Parry, Halicki, Jonathan Sanchez, and Matt Cain all pitched them at home. Montefusco at Atlanta Stadium at the end of September 1976. So Lincecum trying to do what Montefusco did. He's got 3 outs to get, and the Padres will make him run the gauntlet. There are 3, 4, and 5 hitters in the lineup coming up.
He's going to take on the heart of the beast. But all those other no-hitters, there was no concern for a pitch count. The most pitches that Lincecum has ever thrown in a ball game happened in 2008. It was 138 pitches. Again, he threw those against San Diego. It was when he was trying to pitch his first shutout. I beg your pardon, 142 pitches. We've been corrected. But there's the line, 130 pitches into it.
And that was 5 years ago, as you were recalling. And he was in his first full season as a big leaguer at that time. So here is Lincecum. He's got Headley, the third place hitter, Carlos Quentin, the big cleanup slugger, and then Yonder Alonso, the fifth place hitter. 3 of the Padres' very best hitters coming up. Ball 1.
But right now, he's not feeling any fatigue whatsoever. None. He's got pure adrenaline hit here in the last 3 innings.
A strike on the inside.
So fatigue is not a factor. And he wants this thing badly.
Left side of the Giants infield playing Headley to pull the ball. The right side shaded in that direction. Off the outside. 2-1. The outfield is straight away, although the right fielder Pence is way off the line toward right center. Headley has walked twice in this game already. In between the walks, he struck out in the 4th inning. The foul ball, and it's 2-2. Headley, who was the All-Star last year, he was the man. Not just for the Padres, he had one of the best years of any hitter in the National League just a year ago. 31 homers, 115 batted in. Struck him out, and he's tagged out by Posey. 1 away.
13 strikeouts, and the swing and miss came on a 90-mile-an-hour fastball right on the outside corner at the knees. They wanted it up and in. Look at the sink. That's a 2-seam fastball coming completely across the plate. And it winds up being a pretty good mistake to location. 2 outs away.
Carlos Quentin, he is 0 for 3. He's flied out to shallow left, grounded out to third, and lined out to shortstop. Ball 1. Remember that line out came with 2 on and 2 out in the 6th inning. And Lincecum finally challenged him with a fastball, and Quentin drilled it, but right to Brandon Crawford for the final out. Check swing, and it's a foul, an accidental foul. 1 out in the last of the 9th. The Giants ahead 9-0. Out hitting the Padres 10-0. And Lincecum, meanwhile, closing in on 140 pitches for the night.
He's still got good velocity on the fastball. He still has good movement. We saw that on the swing through strike 3 from Chase Headley to start this inning out. The 13th strikeout.
Bumgarner, Godin, fellow members of the rotation looking on. Had a mighty cut at that one and fouled it straight back.
He fouled something straight back. You're on it. He's got that speed timed. Vogelsong looking on. Giants fans on their feet.
Jeff Francoeur, who just joined the team today, he may be marveling. So, wow, what have I walked into? The 2-2 pitch. And he manages to foul that one off. Tough pitch. Good work by Quentin. to spoil it.
Yeah, he really did. I mean, that was a split finger fastball and had movement running away down knee high outside corner, and how he got a piece of it, I don't know, and I don't think Lincecum knows either.
He's had 13 strikeouts tonight, and several of them on pitches like that. Left field, did not get all of it. Blanco, 2 down in the 9th inning. And now 1 out away from his rendezvous with history.
They tried to throw the ball around. They kind of got dropped. Bell picked it up, threw it to Lincecum. Lincecum says, wait, we got 2 more guys have to touch this. Let's not mess with the routine. Threw it to Scudero, who then went to Pablo Sandoval with it. And now Lincecum got it from the guy he wanted from. There's no superstition in baseball.
Let's follow the protocol. Yonder Alonso. Strike 1. Alonso has hit 1 ball very well to deep center for an out in the 2nd, and he has struck out twice since. 2 down in the 9th inning. Tim Lincecum, who has accomplished so much in the game, but never something like this. Strike 2. Never close to this before.
2 curveballs that completely have overmatched Alonso. And if you're Buster Posey, you're thinking, I got to call that again.
Not this time. 1-2 to the dangerous Alonso. Here it is. They wanted it high, a little bit too high to tempt Alonso.
That's all right. They want to throw that breaking ball down and in again. That pitch up and away changes the sideline, cleanses the memory. Now they can go right back down the dirt. He'll follow.
Well, it was a breaking ball and hit hard, but way foul. Still 2-2 to Alonso.
Posey's thinking, we got pretty good wood on that one. Do I throw it again? Do I throw the split?
High in the air and catchable. Blanco. It's a no-hitter for Tim Lincecum. So many memorable pictures in this celebration. Congratulated by Kane, the last Giant to pitch a no-hitter, a perfect game last year, and all celebrating on the diamond as they've done as a team so many times in the last 4 years, celebrating championships, World Series, big victories. Tim Lincecum, who has earned some of the highest honors that any pitcher could earn, tonight for the first time, it's a no-hitter for Lincecum.
Posey from behind with a celebratory hug. There is nobody more popular in that Giants clubhouse than this little guy. And as you pointed out, John, he has accomplished so much in his career. And tonight, he joins the Giants greats who have thrown a no-hitter. And what a night for all of the Giants fans, not just here at the ballpark, but for everywhere, to take in the pride in the celebration of Tim Lincecum's no-hitter, his first.
It took him 148 pitches to get it done, but I think you pointed it out several times. The pitch count was not an issue. Tim Lincecum didn't feel a thing out there, and it almost seemed to be in the ninth inning that it got even a little bit easier, if that's possible. He needed some help from Hunter Pence in the eighth inning, who made the play of the game. Pablo Sandoval was great on one ball in particular, but several balls overall. Tim Lincecum, the no-hitter, and he is standing by. Tim, congratulations. You must be in another world right now.
Yeah, kind of speechless right now. Still kind of feeling like I'm out there on the field.
Well, you've been flirting around with this great mechanics that you had tonight for the last several starts. Tonight you were able to sustain it through the entire 9 innings. Tell us how you felt about that.
I just kind of wanted to stick to my game plan. Buster and I did a great job of staying on the same page, what we wanted to do, and try not to deviate from that.
Was fatigue ever a factor in your game tonight?
No, I felt fine out there from the first pitch. Maybe just a little sweaty, but other than that, I felt great.
The ball that was hit by Amarista turned into a great play by Pence. What did you think when the ball was hit?
I thought that was a for sure hit, but you see Hunter flying out of nowhere, making the flying grab. That was just really impressive and a big play for us.
And Pablo made a
he made a great play on that one down the third base line with a strong throw and keeping that no-hitter alive.
At what point were you starting to think about the no-hitter?
I really tried to not think about it at all, even in that last inning. Just tried to stay within myself and try to make my pitches.
Anybody bring it up to you at all?
No, nobody.
Nobody came by and spoke to you?
Not one person.
Now, that's a little unusual. You're usually kind of talkative
I'm a
out there.
sociable kind of guy, but I don't know why for some reason they didn't want to talk to me today.
Well, a good reason. The 13 strikeouts, a lot of swing throughs. Just really, you look like a guy we've seen before.
Yeah, it felt good to go out there and get something good going for the team. Last night we came out and exploded with those huge runs, and today we did the same thing. And just fortunate enough that I was in there to be able to be the pitcher today.
Now, do you remember the last no-hitter you pitched anywhere?
No, I think it was in high school or something.
And you must have pitched a few in high school.
Yeah, they're only 7 innings, so it's a little easier.
Well, Tim Lincecum, what a night. What a night to remember. And you had a pretty good night with the bat, too.
Yeah, just trying not to strike out as much. Really, that's all my mindset is.
What did it mean to you to be here in San Diego on the road and have this support from your Giants fans?
We always come here. We always see a lot of orange and black in the stadium. So, to come here and pitch, it almost kind of feels like home field advantage to us, especially when the cheers are going on, when we're scoring. It just kind of knows that they're behind you. And, when we have a game like this, it's kind of hard not to feed off of them.
Who will be the first person you call after the game?
My dad.
I thought so.
Yeah.
So, Tim, we want to let you go. A lot of people want to talk to you. You need to call your dad and maybe 100 other people, too. But congratulations. What a night. We'll never forget it.
Thank you very much.
Tim Lincecum, a no-hitter. The second San Francisco Giant ever to do it on the road. It also, in this great pitcher's ballpark, Petco Park, it's synonymous with pitching. Tough place to hit. Until tonight, nobody had ever pitched a no-hitter at Petco Park. He's the first.
Well, and the other thing, too, is you saw the celebration on the field, and you saw the emotion that the Giants players had for Tim Lincecum. And his story has been inspiring to a lot of those guys down there. And Tim Lincecum has gone through some tough times, and he's gone through them with dignity. And he's worked his way through it the way a good pro does. And when you do that, you endear yourself to your teammates. And when you have a night like tonight, which is special, not just to what it means to the Giants this season, but historically what it means to the Giants organization, I mean, they totally got behind it, and the celebration out there is something I don't think I'm going to ever forget. I mean, we saw the same thing when Kane had his no-hitter, his perfect game last June. Just the closeness of this team once again unveiled tonight, and it happened in Tim Lincecum's no-hitter.
So, and like Kane's perfect game, a lot of runs fairly early in this game tonight for Tim Lincecum, where the no-hitter became the story and fairly early on. So congratulations for Tim Lincecum. Only the 7th San Francisco Giant ever to do it, and the 2nd ever to do it on the road. The Giants, Tim Lincecum, a no-hitter. We'll be back.